Hi, this is My Two Favorite Librarians. I'm Denise Corey.
I'm Chantel Taylor, and today we're talking about celebrity book clubs.
Okay, we cannot talk about celebrity book clubs without talking about Oprah.
I mean, she is the
Quintessential
grandmother. Well, I don't want to say grandmother. That's not the right word. That's not the right word.
You know, Oprah is
She
not...
started it off. Like,
Yeah.
really, everyone assumes celebrity book club, Oprah.
Yeah. In fact, the library I worked at in Fredericton for the longest time had a bookshelf that was called Oprah Book Club Recommendations. And so every book that she recommended, there was always a copy of it on that bookshelf so that you wouldn't have to go look for it. It was just there.
And whether you liked those books or not, kudos to Oprah for making people read.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's fantastic that somebody can just say, oh, I liked this book, and millions of people went out and bought it.
If she recommended a book, it flew off the shelves.
I was really thinking, I know she's like sort of restarted her book club, like it's book club 2.0, and she's doing it through the magazine, but it would be really cool if she did it on her network and had like a book club once a month where she had random people coming in to sit and talk about a book with Oprah. Wouldn't that be cool?
And then they...
Show idea.
And then they, if it was our book club, there would be a lot of snacks.
There would be snacks at Oprah's.
Yeah. These are a few of her favorite things.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Oprah is not the only celebrity who has a book club. It seems to be very popular right now.
I feel like in 2017, we saw like a real explosion of the celebrity book club. Like, I don't feel like... I'm sure people were doing it or like posting about it on their social media, but I feel like last year it became like a real thing for people to do.
Yeah. There seems to be a real explosion of it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Because other than Oprah, I remember in the past there being like, okay, the Today Show had a book club.
Yes, yeah.
But that's not a specific celebrity. I guess, it's the people who were on the Today Show.
Oh, I did not remember that.
Yeah, because they used to have their own little stickers.
Yeah,
with the
it's
Today
true.
Show
Yeah.
logo. Here are a few contemporary
celebrity book club.
Reese Witherspoon.
Huge.
Mm-hmm.
She's actually now garnered her own sticker.
Yeah.
Like with publishers, if
Yeah.
it's a Reese Witherspoon.
I saw it in chapters, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then I discovered that the book that I'm reading for my book club this month, this week, in fact, is... The Alice Network by Kate Quinn is one of her celebrity book club picks.
Well, she's done a lot of book adaptations, like for her, because she owns her own, I think she has her own production company. So like Wild and Big Little Lies, of course, is huge. I think that came through her, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so. So Wild, she read that book and she went out and bought the rights to make that a movie.
Exactly.
And then, starred in it. I don't know if she directed it too.
And she's on Facebook, she's on Instagram, and her book club is actually called Hello Sunshine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a website. I went onto the website. I printed off what they did. You can like comment. You can see like what they've read in the past. There's a list. And I remember when Reese Witherspoon started this book club, and I thought, who cares what Reese Witherspoon is reading? But it's become huge.
People care what
they
she is reading.
And she's picking some very on-trend popular books.
Well, yeah, I also see You Think It, I'll Say It by Curtis Sittenfeld. We pronounce that differently. What is the other book by Curtis?
She did the Jane Austen adaptation.
Yes, what was that called?
It's gone right out of my head.
It was really,
Pride and Prejudice.
It was really good because it was like a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, but Mr. Darcy had been on
Eligible.
Eligible. Yeah. So another celebrity book club, Emma Watson.
Yes, and hers is very specific because she's a feminist book club leader.
She's doing some work for the UN.
Yes.
And primarily on women's rights internationally. So she started this book club that is really focused on women's rights and human rights. Her recommendations are, they're very serious, predominantly non-fiction books.
Although I think she did read The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not like that's a super upbeat, happy book.
Not at all, but not nonfiction.
Isn't it the book that made you stop reading Margaret Atwood?
No, Alias Grace made me stop reading Margaret Atwood.
Moving on.
Jimmy Fallon apparently has a book club. I was reading an article, and again,
my first thought is, Jimmy Fallon reads?
I know. And again, it's really sad that that's what we think of these celebrities, because like we have this perception and
that their character is them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently Jimmy Fallon has a little book club.
So what kind of books did he recommend?
Do you know what? I did not print it off. I just said Jimmy Fallon has started a book club.
So I'm going to look. I'm going to take a look to see what Jimmy Fallon has recommended. I'm kind of interested in that now.
There's also an NFL quarterback who I don't know his name, but he's also started his own book club, which I think is... He rates the books in different levels. One is for rookies and one is for veterans. Nice. And the rookie books are for... they're like kids books or teen books. Nice.
I thought that was really, yeah.
I didn't write down his name either. I'm bad.
Andrew something? I mean, I just went, oh, football player, and moved on. So, you know, if you're into the NFL, maybe you know who this person is.
Sarah Jessica Parker is also doing a book club, and she has partnered with the American Library Association. And
she has been given her own imprint with Hogarth Books. It's a subsidiary of a bigger publisher, but she has her own sort of line of books, and she gets to approve. Like they give her the slush piles, and she approves if something gets published.
Nice. Good for her.
She's like a book editor.
And it was interesting because one of the comments she said, I was reading an article on her book club, and she's like, oh, I like to post books on social media because they're not as controversial as like anything else I do. So I can have a pleasant conversation with the public over books.
Actually, one of the things that I do, I post every book I read on social media. I tell people like I've just finished this book, or I really like to open up conversations about reading. But as a signature line on my email, I also always have the book I'm currently reading. And you would be surprised how many people email me back and talk about that book with me, whether it has anything to do with what we were originally talking about or not.
Whether it's library related or not.
Yeah, like I had applied for a grant, and the person emailed me back and said, oh, I read that book. I really also enjoyed this other book by the same author. And I thought, oh, I'll just add that to my list. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is a real conversation starter, that byline, yeah.
Speaking of which, what are you reading?
I am reading Dark Needs at Night's Edge by Cressley Cole. It's
that's part of that series, right?
Number 5 in the Immortals After Dark, which is going along with the podcast. I'm finally back up to speed. I've now started the next book, so like when the next podcast comes out, I may have actually read the book before I listen to the podcast. And so this book, Dark Needs, detoxing vampire chained to a bed, ballerina ghost. Those are the hero and heroine. Mic drop.
Actually, it reminds me a little bit of The Coldest Girl in Cold Town. Did you read that by Holly
did,
Black?
yeah.
She wakes up after a party and she's in a room with this vampire that's chained to the bed, and he has not eaten in I don't know how many days.
This is a little bit different because
she was not a ballerina ghost.
No, but in this book, in this world, Immortals After Dark, the vampires are the bad guys. They're the evil entity of the lore. And once they drink from the vein and they kill you, it's like they can't stop. So his brothers... There's like a whole thing. But his brothers have decided that they're going to detox him off the blood to see if they can fix him before they have to kill him.
Ooh.
Because they're about to go to war against the vampires.
I am reading The Greatest Hits of Wanda Janes by Bridget Canning. She is a Newfoundland author. So Wanda's having a bad week. She's just found out that she's about to get laid off. She goes to yoga, then goes to the grocery store to pick something up, and becomes instant internet celebrity because a gunman comes in and he starts shooting at people, and she happens to have a can of coconut milk in her hand, and just by instinct she throws this coconut milk and hits him in the head and knocks him out. And somebody was filming it on their phone, and it gets loaded up to YouTube, and then suddenly like people are camping outside of her house and they become obsessed with her. It's very, very interesting.
Is it set in Newfoundland?
Yeah, it's set in St. John's.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. What's happening at the library?
So this week at the library, programs are started up for the year, but there's not a whole lot more towards the end of the month. However, River Hibbert has a very busy week this week. Friday night, they're having their teen night, and I have no idea what Fiona has planned for them because Fiona's still on Christmas vacation. Lucky her. But they usually have some snacks, and they'll play some games, or they'll watch a movie, or there's slime,
or they make a craft. Often it has glitter in it.
Yeah, lots of glitter. And on Wednesday, they're having a Happy New Year program for kids in grades P to 6.
Oh, nice.
So River Hibbert, the Halfman Place at the library this week.
Do you know what we're talking about next week?
I do, because I've added it to our little sheet that I fill out, so we won't be caught off guard again. We're talking Groundhog Day.
Oh, Groundhog Day.
And I asked Adam, I said, we're doing this for our radio show, and he came up with a very interesting list that I'm not sure that that's what you meant as Groundhog Day books.
Yes, he was mentioning it to me, so I think it'll be really a fun conversation. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.